coming this October. The final chapter in Canadian racing's most epic trilogy. The OLG Canadian Triple Crown.
Mighty Hard in front, the one to catch in the Queen's Plate, chased by Clayton.
Concludes on the E.P. Taylor turf.
Mighty Heart, mightiest again. He's 2/3 of the way to the Canadian Triple Crown.
One heart, three crowns.
Anything can happen. Dreams can come true.
Mighty Heart. Josie Carroll. Larry Cordes and Daisuke Fukumoto. Heroes win one, legends take all three.
I can't wait. Plain and simple, I cannot wait for that movie to actually hit the Woodbine Racetrack Theater coming up on Saturday afternoon. Welcome inside the studio. I'm Jason Wandoo, and we are pumped. You know, clearly, preparation giving way to anticipation. Breeders' Stakes number 129, if I'm not mistaken. But most importantly, for the first time in quite a while, we are on the cusp, on the brink of potential racing greatness. Been down this road before, 2003. Obviously, that's the last time it happened with Wandoo. We'll hear from the connections coming up a little bit later on, but wasn't all that long ago. In fact, we were in prime position to add another. I think the overall number is 12 for Triple Crown winners, 7 of the modern era. But 2018, Wonder Godot knocking down, obviously, the Queen's Plate, and then Wonder Godot goes to the Prince of Wales, and that Quagmire wins again. But then all of a sudden, she looks up and she comes to a fork in the road that's got 3 different directions. Breeders, Alabama, Travers. We know the rest of that story. She chose the Travers, and Catholic Boy took care of that business. So we're in this position one more time, but this time I can guarantee you Mighty Heart is here. In fact, the box closed this morning. Scott Lane is with us a little bit off camera in terms of our racing secretary. Glorious Tribute. Little sneak peek. Don't tell them I'm doing this for you. Glorious Tribute with Davey Moran. You got Ollie, my boy, Patrick Husbands, Clayton, Rafael Hernandez. Hope it's okay I'm doing this. Muskoka Giant. We're okay, right, Scotty, to do this? Yeah? Okay. Muskoka Giant, Justin Stein. We've got Deviant, Jerome Lermite. We also have Told It All, Kazushi Kimura. A few more to get through here. Kunal, back in the hands of Steve Churkop. Emil Ramsamy. Great to see him get a Breeders' Stakes mount. Belichick. Josie Carroll's got more than one. Luis Contreras is going to ride that maiden. Mighty Heart. We think you know the story there. A few more to get through. We got Meyer, Sahin Savachi, and English Conqueror. Supplemented, like Told It All, Emma Jane Wilson, Enchant Me, Stevie Bain, another maiden in the field. So we are all set. We're looking forward to it. Weather-wise, last time I checked, about 9 degrees, sunny, partly cloudy. It won't have any effect on that. I'm not sure what the grass is going to be like. Maybe a little bit of cut in the ground. And for many of these horses, the grass is a question mark, right? And of course, we're going to talk about the 1.5-mile distance. So coming up over the next half an hour or so, we're going to hear from Woodbine Entertainment CEO Jim Lawson. We'll hear from Patrick Husbands. We'll hear from Hall of Famers Mike Keogh, Josie Carroll, Larry Cordes, the owner of this amazing athlete. And we all can agree, I don't care which side of the border you're on, 2020 racing-wise, heck, just life-wise, we could all use that bit of a shot in the arm. So maybe this guy will deliver the unthinkable. And I want to ask Josie and Larry this a little bit later. You know, going into this, on a scale of 1 to 10, what did they really think was the number of their chances of, you know, being in this position? So that's still to come a little bit later on. But right now, to open things up, we're going to call on our CEO, Mr. Jim Lawson, to get us underway. There he is. What's going on?
Hey,
how are you?
Good. This is exciting. It's quite a road to get here, so it's great to be able to talk about it.
100%. You know, stateside, they've been kind of, you know, just spoiled, we're going to say, recently with all their Triple Crown winners, it feels like. Obviously, we didn't get one this year. But on our side of things, just talk about for Canadian horse racing and what it means to potentially have another OLG Triple Crown winner.
Well, it's great for racing generally. I was asked this morning, would there be an asterisk? And I said, absolutely not. It would have been interesting on the U.S. Triple Crown with the reordering and the Belmont run at 1 1/8 and run first, whether there might have been an asterisk there. But this is quite a feat. You know, as you mentioned, there hasn't been a Triple Crown winner since 2003, and we had the thrill of Wandoo at that time, and it'll be great for you to have the opportunity to talk to Mike Kehoe about it, and Patrick Husbands and his experience and the riding issue. I'd love to be able to. I'll catch up with Mike at some time if you get a chance to talk about Todd Cable and Patrick Husbands in that 2003 Queen's Plate. And I need to do some fact checking. I think Emil was maybe riding in races at that time, but since that time, Jason, you're exactly right. It's so difficult to get here in the first place to the Queen's Plate, and then to go from what now is the Tapeta surface to the dirt to a mile and a half on the turf. It's just an extremely difficult feat to do. And as you said, the only horse that's even had a chance to do it in 17 years has been Gary Barber's wonderful filly, and took a different route. So. Yep. It just shows how difficult it is, and I think that's one thing even this week that we've been talking about is why is this so hard? And it's so hard because it's difficult to get here in the first place, let alone run in successive weeks. And Josie will tell you, I mean, to keep a horse at the top of his or her game for 9 weeks like this is really something. And getting ready for the race, it's an incredible feat. So it's fun. It's a great opportunity for us to promote the sport of horse racing, and so we're thrilled that there is this opportunity, and it'll be a great build up the balance of this week to the race on Saturday.
I agree. Just the fact alone that we're at this point, we're already winners, because everybody wants to jump in on the action. A bunch of media here in the backstretch yesterday, all wanting a glimpse of Mighty Heart. And 5 to 6 TSN Saturday, just a little shameless plug there. What's your thought on Mighty Heart? I mean, obviously we all know about the one eye, one huge heart, most importantly 4 really good legs. But just take us through Mighty Heart, because this is a horse that was flying under the radar going into the plate.
Yeah, certainly he was. I mean, he didn't race as a 2-year-old, so even that makes a big difference, because in order to get ready for a race like this, particularly when you don't race as a 2-year-old, it's tough. Luckily luckily in this sense that there was some extra time this year with COVID and the delay till September, and it gave horses in Mighty Heart a chance to develop. He went into the plate at as we know, it was 13-1, but just indicative of what a great story it is. I think the odds on Mighty Heart dropped during the Queen's Plate broadcast when a feature was done on what an underdog he was, and the one eye, and that just shows right there what a great story it is. And of course, Larry and his family, those of us, including myself, who have been in this business for a long time, know how hard it is when you're dealing with small numbers of horses and trying to give yourself a chance just to get to the Queen's Plate. So, the story of Larry and the breeding and going into this sport where you're up against owners with lots of horses and lots of chances, and horses get injured and they peak at different times. To have all this come together with a horse like this that has overcome so much is just a wonderful story for us to tell, and people are cheering for him, and it's fun, and it's great for our sport, and we're lucky to be in this position as an industry right now to be able to promote this in a time where it's been a difficult year, of course, for the industry, for everyone involved in it, and this brings some excitement to our sport, which is perfect timing for us.
Going to get you now to step inside the batter's box. This is kind of like our version of the Fall Classic. And, hey, baseball, they compete on dirt and grass. So similarity continues there with, obviously, horse racing. But maybe just talk about superstars, the importance in, the respective sports. Right now in baseball, speaking of which, we got the top two teams battling for the World Series. So, the best teams or the best horses don't always win. But, again, just going back and touching on superstar athletes.
Well, yeah, the names that come to mind, we'd all arrive at different names in different sports. You and I can relate, although not relate at all, to what Tiger Woods did for golf or has done for golf, and whether you love Tiger or you don't love Tiger, and I'll throw into this Tom Brady. LeBron James. I mean, what they have done is they've, in many ways, they've transcended the sport. What Tiger has done for golf has been incredible. What LeBron James and others before him, these are difference makers. And why are they difference makers? It brings attention to the sport. People love. How many times on social media now have you seen debates about the GOAT and in every sport, and certainly, hopefully we'll be into that debate about Mighty Heart and how he stacks up against other Triple Crown winners if he's fortunate enough to get the job done on Saturday. And it's really fun. Sports needs heroes. People love heroes, even if they don't like the heroes, as I said, if they don't like Tiger Woods or they don't like LeBron James. It's something that brings the sport into the spotlight, and it's really important because that's what people rally around. That's what they can relate to. And, our Woodbine team, Jason, you included, we've done a great job of following this story right from the beginning. I mean, our people were astute enough, even on a horse that I don't know what the morning line odds were on Mighty Heart, but we did a feature on the horse. And so we've been following this story for a while. We need heroes, and this is a horse that has a story that people can rally around, much like other sports heroes. So it's great, and really happy for Larry and his family and Josie and all the connections that were in this position to be talking about this horse in this fashion.
Final question. We've crowned champions like Tampa Bay Lightning in the NHL, obviously LeBron and the Lakers in the NBA. Are we going to crown another champion coming up in 3 days?
Well, come on, Jason.
No pressure.
It's a tough one. No pressure. Listen, it's a tall order, and you're going to hear from people that are much more knowledgeable than I am on this. Certainly, a mile and a half on the grass, and potentially grass that is softer to yielding. I'm not so sure what the forecast is going to bring us over the next couple of days here, but that's always a big question mark in horse racing. And as you know, that E.P. Taylor turf course is it's difficult to be on the front end. On we saw examples of that on the weekend. It's difficult to be on the front end. I know that Mike Kehoe and Patrick, they went from a front running style in both the plate and the Prince of Wales, and if you look at the chart for Wandoo, which was the last Triple Crown winner, he changed his tactics a little bit and was a stalker. So I'm sure everyone's going to be on to that question of is Mighty Heart going to go or not go? And it's a long way at the Woodbine E.P. Taylor course. You watch it every day to be on the front end there. So it's a tall order, but I think the industry is cheering for Mighty Heart. There are some great horses in the race. It's always difficult to mention some of them, but his stablemate Belichick is off 2 starts, ran really well on the Queen's Plate. Had traffic trouble and not only in the plate but his first start, and so to do what Belichick did in the plate in only his 3rd lifetime start is quite an accomplishment, despite having some traffic problems. as I think he did also in his first start, left the gate slowly. So, and Clayton should not be. Clayton's been on everyone's radar since before the plate and since last year, and he can't be discounted. And there are a number of them that can step up, and so in this race, so it's tough. That's why they're running the race, and I hope Mighty Heart gets the job done for racing and for Larry and his family. But Josie and Larry will be the first ones to tell you that they will be nervous the entire mile and a half on Saturday afternoon. It is a tall order. It looks like the horse will suit the distance and has some breeding, grass breeding, of course, on the sire side. But it's a tall order. A mile and a half on what is going to be a giving grass course on Saturday. I don't know how giving, but let's hope he gets the job done from my standpoint. But it's never easy, Jason. Believe me, and I think Josie and Larry appreciate that better than I do. So that would be my view. I'm not sure I committed to a winner, but
no, you didn't. But it's all right. I got all kinds of tractor wheels and boxes and everything going on here, so hopefully I get it. Hey, Jim, appreciate the time.
Okay, well, nice to be on, and exciting for Woodbine, exciting for Larry and his family and all the participants, and wish everyone involved in this race on Saturday the best of luck, and let's have fun and enjoy this ride, guys. It's a great time for horse racing in Ontario, so thanks for having me on, Jace.
All right, sounds good. Woodbine Entertainment CEO Jim Lawson joining us virtually. Like we're doing this right now. If you're just tuning in, by the way, the 129th Breeders' Stakes coming up on Saturday. We're going to assemble the field. We've got our crew in place. Appreciate everything our technical and production crews do just to make today possible. And in all of sports, we always say, best two words, Game 7. Well, we're going to say Triple Crown when it comes to horse racing. Let's talk about the field. Paul Savalaggio of the Woodbine Entertainment broadcast team has put pen to paper and also added in his audio, and here it is.
They're at the post. They're on.
Lightning is going to strike twice for Kinghaven Farms.
Canada salutes the Breeders' Stakes winner and the Triple Crown champion.
For 91 years, winning a Triple Crown has seemed like an impossible dream. It's come true for only 12 horses in Canadian racing history, and now a Mighty Heart has emerged with a shot at becoming lucky number 13. After overcoming a wolf tooth that made it uncomfortable to race, he promptly broke his maiden, finished third versus Allowance Company, and went on to dominate the 161st running of the Queen's Plate.
Mighty Heart has got the Queen's Plate completely wrapped up, and this is a dominant performance. Daisuke Fukumoto, Mighty Heart, full of heart by 8 lengths.
Trained by Josie Carroll and owned by Larry Cordes, the one-eyed colt piloted by Daisuke Fukumoto has been taking it one leg at a time.
He glides right on by. He was never worried. Mighty Heart, mightiest again. He's 2/3 of the way to the Canadian Triple Crown. Mighty Heart.
He seeks legendary status this Saturday in the Breeders' Stakes, looking to become the first 3-year-old colt to sweep the OLG Canadian Triple Crown Series in 17 years. His rivals have their own interests, the lion's share of a $400,000 purse and the sparkling addition of a Canadian racing jewel to their list of achievements. Belichick is one. The lightly raced maiden, also trained by Josie Carroll, returns to action in the Breeders' Stakes for the first time since his solid runner-up finish in the Queen's Plate. He's finished no worse than third in 3 career starts. Clayton and trainer Kevin Attard anticipate their third and final post position in the 2020 OLG Canadian Triple Crown Series, the only competitor left besides Mighty Heart to race in all 3 contests. Clayton won the plate trial, finished third after a bumped start in the Gallop for the Guineas, and was second to Mighty Heart in the Prince of Wales Stakes. Deviant draws into the Breeders' Stakes for trainer Mark Casse. The Daredevil colt's last action was a 7th place finish in the Queenston Stakes back in July. He scored back-to-back stakes wins in his 2-year-old campaign, the El Joven at Retama Park in Texas, and the Sunday Silence Stakes at Louisiana Downs.
But Deviant has all the momentum, and he is blown on by and has won the Sunday Silence.
The maiden Enchant Me looks to spoil a Triple Crown bid with an upset of his own, hoping to improve on a 6th place result in the Prince of Wales Stakes at Fort Erie. Prior to that, he was game on the EP Taylor turf with a wide rallying second to fellow Breeders' Stakes entry Muskoka Giant. Owner breeder JWS Farms have supplemented English Conqueror into this Saturday's event. The Darwin Bannack trained chestnut prevailed for the first win of his career back on September 19th.
On the rails, English Conqueror as they go to the wire.
Glorious Tribute took aim at the first jewel of the 2020 Canadian Triple Crown from the word go, battling in the Queenston, Marine Stakes, and official plate trial with some good performances. The Barbara Mitchell trainee's last trip to the winner's circle was a maiden-breaking score last December.
Glorious Tribute flying down the outside. Glorious Tribute finishing a touch the better, got up to win it.
Kunal has put up near back-to-back wins in claiming races at Gulfstream. In August, he veered out in deep stretch, impeding the eventual winner as he was disqualified to second. Good enough to be claimed by the Drawing Away stable. He followed that up with an even better performance, was claimed again, and has since been purchased by Bruno Schickedanz. Like Kunal, Meyer has done his recent bidding on the turf, and a bid was put in on him. Now owned by Bruno Schickedanz, Meyer has never finished worse than 4th, sporting a respectable 1-2-1 record from 7 career starts. Muskoka Giant for Conrad Farms and trainer Mark Casse was a struggled 5th in the middle jewel of the OLG Canadian Triple Crown Series. He'll return to the 5-inch trim of the EP Taylor grass course, the same surface he broke his maiden on back in August.
The Muskoka Giant and Kazushi Kimura grinding out a win.
Ollie My Boy returns to Triple Crown action after a faded 11th in the Queen's Plate. He bookended that learning experience with a solid pair of speed figures, 92 in both. Initially with the first win of his career just before the plate and rallying for 4th versus Allowance Company last time out. Told It All is the second supplemented contender seeking Breeders' Stakes glory this Saturday. He rang off a triple of his own this summer, the second of which on the inner turf in a claiming contest that resulted in a change of ownership. The Rainbow Stables Charge performed mightily in the first race under his new silks, driving clear for a win in the Elgin Stakes.
But it's Told It All, and that's how they'll finish. Told It All goes on to win.
The field is set for the third leg in the 2020 OLG Canadian Triple Crown Series, the Breeders' Stakes.
All right, once again, our thanks to Paul Savalaggio, the broadcast team putting that beauty together. Jason Portwando rejoining you from inside the studio here at Woodbine Racetrack, moments away from drawing the 12-horse field for Saturday's big affair. But first, we got to rewind the hands of time because we got to give this horse his due. It hasn't happened since 2003. Wandoo, that magical run, you add in that magical voice of track announcer Dan Loisel. It was quite the ride. Once again, 12th overall, but 7th in modern day history. So let's revisit Wandoo and that championship run.
Sharp, strong, and a dominating winner of the Queen's Plate, Wandoo. Simply spectacular.
And one step closer to the Triple Crown. It is Wandoo to win the Prince of Wales Stakes.
And Canada salutes the Breeders' Stakes winner and the Triple Crown champion. Wandoo was better than wonderful this afternoon. He was magnificent.
When he crossed the wire, it was a lot of pressure off, you know, leading up to it. He had such a big fan base and there were so many people there that day. It was nice to just be able to take a deep breath and relax after the wire.
You know, as everybody knows in horse racing, it's a thin line, you know, and you need a lot of racing luck, and the 3 races was a lot of luck and everything went my way, and, it's a great honor and it's unbelievable.
The main thing is trying to keep your horse fresh. That, you know, it's demanding because of the distance and the company you're keeping in, but the main thing is trying to keep your horse fresh.
And it being tougher as the years go on, since I'm being around Woodbine, you know, we have 3 different surfaces, so that make it more tough. But a good horse, as my dad say, a good horse run on anything.
The 3-horse Samson Farm entry, I knew they were going to try and gang up on us, which they did. Patrick knew what they were going to try and do to him, and they did it down the backside, but I thought he did a wonderful job of getting him out to the outside where he was more comfortable.
I try everything to stay away from Landry. I put my horse behind Landry, and he's so aggressive, and Landry's looking for me, and Slade and Todd Cable, Todd Cable, he's here, he's back here, he's there, you know. That was as you know, Wandoo tried to go along, but that was a little tricky race because he was aggressive, you know what I mean, and get him to relax going so far and getting the job done, unbelievable.
I think he's definitely bred to go the distance, and he looks like a horse that'll either rate or can go to the lead, so that part seems easy. I think the biggest question would be how soft the turf is going to be. You know, we never really get a chance to run on a soft turf, so we never know if our horses handle it or not.
My advice to him, you know, you're riding the horse that show in the last 2 races he's the best horse of the race, and try to ride him like the same way, and don't worry about anything, you know. Let everybody worry about you. That's my advice to him.
That guy would know if anybody knows. Going back to last year, top rider when it came to winning stakes events, having another remarkable season considering everything that guy's been through, Patrick, from tip to tail. So that was a pretty good feature. Appreciate that. And Mike Keogh, Hall of Famer, taking us down memory lane there with Wandoo. So, are we going to add some new memories, perhaps, coming up in just a few days from now? Well, let's piece it together. Let's bring in our racing secretary, Scott Lane, and my partner in crime. I guess this is the final time we get to do this this year, right?
This is it for 2020.
Let's end off things on a bang, and we should mention as well, I know you don't have a mic on, so you can just yell at me. This is the closest I've ever been to the Triple Crown trophy, and that one right there beside Scott is for the Breeders' Stakes. So we got the 12 horses. You've got the Ps. They're in place. Let's roll. I'm going to randomly select one, and you can let me know what they grab. I'll give a little bit of a bio. First up, we have, Kunal. So Kunal is a horse that's won back-to-back races, albeit 12-5 claimers on grass at Gulfstream Park. 3rd in last year's Cup and Saucer on this course, and he gets post
position 10.
Post position 10 for Kunal. So owned by Bruno Chicadas, and Steve Sherkop is the trainer once again. Emil Ramsamy has never won this race. He'll try to change that with a 50-1 outsider. Kunal gets post position number 10. All right. Next up, let's slide one out here. I have in my hands Told It All, supplemented to this race by who? Yes, Rainbow Stables. Claimed this horse for $25,000, trained by Norm McKnight. Told It All gets, Scott?
Post position 11.
Post position 11. A $25,000 claim. What a great story this would be. In fact, this horse is actually the lone 2-time winner in the field on this E.P. Taylor turf course. I get it. It's easier spots. Right. But I'm just presenting the facts. That's all I'm doing. Kazushi Kimura will be the rider for trainer Norm McKnight. All right, next up, we're going to go right to the end here. Glorious Tribute, 30-1.
Number 6.
Number 6 for Glorious Tribute, owned by Bruce Lunsford, trained by Barb Minchell. They're going to team up with his son of Congrats. Skipped the Prince of Wales, but is back for the 3rd leg, seeking that first podium finish on turf. Davy Moran gets the call, post 6 for Glorious Tribute. By the way, Told It All is 12-1. All right, so that one is done. Next up, Scott, we have Belichick, the intriguing maiden owned by LNJ Foxwoods and NK Racing. 3rd in his career debut on grass, trouble trip, bad start, put a line through it. 2nd in the Queen's Plate, he gets post.
Post 9.
Post 9 for Belichick, one of 2 maidens in the field. Luis Contreras will ride for Hall of Fame trainer Josie Carroll. She's got a pair in here. And she's done this thing before, And how about Contreras and Carroll? One of the more profitable combinations we have here at the meet. And we should note 7-2 for Belichick. Our morning line odds maker, Ernie Perry, up this morning early like he always is. We call him Early Ernie. If he's not clocking, he's setting these lines just for you. Well, look who we have here, the mighty one, Mighty Hart. Do I need to tell you the story? Well documented, obviously. His resume does not need a cover letter. On the brink of racing greatness, Queen's Plate champ, Prince of Wales champ, trying to seal the deal. Number?
Post position 8.
8 for Mighty Hart. Larry Cordes, he's the owner. Trainer is Josie Carroll, as you know, and as talked about, Josie winning this race 2014 with Amise Holiday. Your even money favorite going in, number 8, Mighty Hart. The rider, yes, Daisuke Fukumoto. All right. Deviant. Deviant is an outsider at 30-1, 1 of 2 in here for trainer Mark Cassie, seeking a third Breeders' Stakes, post position number
7.
Post number 7 for Deviant. Owners, Red Lane Thoroughbreds. Both wins to date on grass, but this is the first time he'll be on that surface in Canada. Jérôme Lermite gets the call with Deviant, a 30-1 shot on the morning line. All right, let's slide down the line here. Next up, Muskoka Giants. So I've picked 2 Carrolls and now 2 Cassies. This one as well comes out of that same shed row. Lone win for this son of Curlin came on the E.P. Taylor. That was 3 starts ago. 5th in the Prince of Wales. Stall number?
12.
Stall number 12. The far outside for this Conrad Farms owned horse. Cassie took home the title as recently as 2018, so he did get the Triple Crown, just not with the same horse. Neepawa was able to win. Justin Stein will ride. Muskoka Giant goes in at 20-1. All right, 5 more if my math is working here. Next up, Meyer. And Meyer's a horse that was just claimed a couple starts ago for $40,000 by Bruno Chicadans. Hasn't missed a ticket when racing on turf. Number
1.
Number 1 for Meyer, making his 3-year-old stakes debut for trainer Marty Drexler. Sahin Savachi gets the call, and a bit of a quick return for this guy. He raced just 13 days ago by the time we get to post time on the 24th, which means he raced on October the 11th. There is a look at where he'll be starting from, and we'll be thinking for an upset. Perhaps if it happens, Meyer at 30-1. Next up, the other horse supplemented to Saturday's race, English Conqueror. And English Conqueror just picked up his first lifetime win, and it happened, yes, ironically enough, on the E.P. Taylor for trainer Darwin Banak, who's having a great 2020. Gate number?
5.
Gate number 5 for English Conqueror. So JWS Farms, hoping the money is well worth it to supplement. Emma Wilson will be in the irons, and she's done a lot of great things over her riding career. Just on the weekend, picked up a couple more stakes to add to her 2020 list. I want to say she's got 6. Always a joy to interview. All you do is ask Emma one question, and she does the rest. She's kind of like racing's version of Pinball Clemens. Just wind her up and let her go. So eloquent as well. 12-1 for that supplemented horse. You get half of 12-1, 6-1 on Clayton. He's the only horse in the field other than Mighty Hart, obviously, that's been in all 3 dances, or will be. 3rd in the Queen's Plate, 2nd in the Prince of Wales, making his turf debut. Scott, post position number?
Number 3.
Number 3 for the guys who share the ownership. They both have the papers. Daniel Plouffe and Donato Lani. Kevin Attard, the trainer. And he's got the hottest jockey when it comes to the Breeders' Stakes. Rafael Hernandez has won 3 of the last 4. Yes, 3 of the last 4 for Rafael Hernandez. He's won 75% of the last 4 years. Only one he didn't win, obviously, would be Neepawa with Jérôme Lermite. And there's a look there. Once again, 6-1 for Clayton. And then there were 2. Scott, we're almost done. 50-1 the odds on the other maiden, Enchant Me, owned by York Tech Racing, trained by Santino de Paula. Nearly broke through on the lawn 2 starts ago. 6th in the Prince of Wales. Number
2.
Number 2. Number 2 for Enchant Me. What a spot this would be to open up his account with a win in a 1.5-mile contest with Stevie Bain aboard. Enchant Me listed at 50-1. One more to go. I can pretty much assure you I know where this is going. We're going to make it official with Ollie, my boy. Gets that initial look at grass racing, I should say, making his 2nd start in the Triple Crown for JMJ Racing Stables and trainer Siddharth. Gate number 4. I have to let you say it. You make it official. Gate number 4. Patrick Husbands, well, you know, he'd love to spoil the party, right? As much as we all want to see this, Patrick says, no, if I can still be the last guy to do it, let's just leave it at that. So there is a look at your field. We'll let it soak in for a little bit. Odds, riders, stall numbers for the 129th edition of the Breeders' Stakes. Once again, catch it live, coast to coast on TSN, 5 until 6 Eastern. That is 2 until 3 Pacific. You want to go 4 till 5 Mountain. We got all the, I make that Central. And then 3 till, I'm just putting myself in a corner now. Bucky's laughing at me. 3 until 4 Central. I got it. 2 to 3 Pacific, 3 to 4 Mountain, 4 to 5 Central, 5 to 6 Eastern. Just because we got people watching from all over the place. But yeah, I got my producer, Peter Buchanan of the TSN show, laughing, saying, don't put yourself in that corner, Porty. We're done. So, Scott, appreciate it, as always. Nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, we're all set. Mike Burns is in here clicking some pictures. So now we're going to check in with the connections. I know that it's kind of the, I don't want to say kind of the hot seat. I'm going to say the catbird seat because I'm sure Josie Carroll and Larry Cordes wouldn't trade positions with anybody in terms of what's going on. So we got the Cordes group there. Larry, we'll get to you in a second. But Josie, let's begin with you. I know that he recently had a spin over the turf, but your thoughts on how he's going to handle that footing? I know he's been on it before, but that was before everything happened in terms of turning things around with this guy. Talk about, you know, the footing and what's it going to be like for this guy? I don't know if you even know the answer to this, you know, if it comes up maybe soft yielding or there's some cut in the ground.
Certainly, I can't tell you how he's going to handle a yielding turf. In North America, we very seldom get the chance to run on very soft turf. As far as grass, yes, I believe he'll handle the grass. He's run once on the grass. We had him up on the EP course the other day, and he just skipped across it.
In terms of the distance, I know it's a question mark for everybody in the field going 1.5 miles. You know, he showed a brand new dimension in the Prince of Wales because everybody thought he was kind of a one-trick pony, which was kind of weird because when Justin Stein broke his maiden, he wasn't on the lead. So we know he can rate, but maybe just talk about the 1.5 miles and how do you think he's going to handle that?
You know, I mean, pedigree-wise, we have every reason to think he should handle it, but until a horse does that, you really don't know. It's a very, very challenging thing to be asking him to do right now. This horse has run 2 hard races, and now you're asking him to go 1.5 miles on a possibly tiring course. Hopefully he's up to the challenge. He's trained well into it, but it is a big unknown.
How are the nerves, obviously, because, you know, we know you're the first trainer that's a female. I don't want to call you a female trainer. You're just a trainer who just happens to be female because you're really good at what you do. You're a Hall of Famer. But how are the nerves potentially becoming the first trainer to be female to win the Canadian Triple Crown? I mean, and how surprised are you as well that you're in this spot alone, you know, let alone you're in this spot?
You know, I mean, as far as nerves go, I think right now there's so much going on with getting this horse ready for this race, getting my other horse ready for the race. I haven't really had time to do much else but be focused on what we're doing. It's a very exciting moment. The opportunity to win a Triple Crown. You know, I can't really put into words what that would mean. It's not something that's been accomplished very often, and if this horse could do it for us, it would be a huge thrill.
And just quickly, how surprised are you if I gave you a scale of 1 to 10 that you're in this position right now? Not with Curlin's Voyage, not with potentially Belichick, but with this horse.
Maybe a 5.
Okay.
This horse showed a lot of potential. So am I completely flabbergasted? No, but did I think he was going to rise above some of my, you know, other horses that have, you know, had much more early success? Really didn't expect that, no.
Okay. And last thing I want to ask you, because you do have 2 in the field. I mean, it's mixed emotions, obviously, for you, but you'd kind of hate to be upstaged at a Triple Crown chance by Belichick. But hey, he's a good one in his own right. I know things didn't work out right from the start, literally, in terms of that grass event. But talk about him and how he's coming into the race and obviously getting back onto the lawn.
This is a really talented horse. You know, I think from the moment he came in my barn, he showed a great deal of ability. If anything has surprised me, it's that it has taken this long for him to really blossom. I thought he was going to be a horse that from the start would impress. So I'm not surprised to have him in this position. You know, as you said, you know, he's a horse to potentially upstage our Triple Crown chances. So there's mixed emotions, but it's also very rewarding, you know, to train a horse of his caliber. So very mixed.
Well, Josie, obviously you're a Hall of Famer for a really good reason. You got the 2 headliners going in. Best of luck on Saturday. Appreciate the time as always. And hey, you've done your part, right? You and your crew getting these horses to this point. For them on Saturday, they go out and do the rest. Thank you very much, Josie.
Thank you.
All right, Larry Cordes, you're up next. Well, I asked Josie this question. I'm going to ask you this right off the start. On a scale of 1 to 10, just how surprised are you at the fact that you're at this point, 2/3 of the way to racing greatness with this horse? On a scale of 1 to 10, what number would you give me?
7, 8.
All right. I see you keeping some good company there, but you know, just talk about the ride. I mean, this is a horse that, you know, was 13-1, wearing number 13. Who says that's a bad luck number? Turned out to be great for you, but you get through the plate. Now you go to the Prince of Wales, and obviously the next step we all know, but just take us through the ride, the wave of emotions that you've been going through.
Well, you know, when Clayton took the lead at the head of the stretch, even the announcer had that type of voice, which was, oh, there goes Clayton, the end of the race, he'll win. But he soon changed his tune, which is good. You know, there's Mighty Hard off the rail and making a run. He actually hesitated, Mighty Hard, for just a second when he came up to Clayton, as though he looked him, you know, cocked his head a bit, looked him in the eye, and said, "Okay, it's all. I'm okay. I'm going on." So he then, of course, you know, ended up 2.5 lengths in the lead. So he done a wonderful job.
It's been well documented, obviously, the story with him having the one eye, but you know, what he's done for racing is amazing and what he potentially could still do for our sport. But maybe talk about what Mighty Heart has meant to you from day one, because obviously, you know, he's your horse, right? And just talk about what it means to have a horse like this.
Yes, well, what it's done for me is patience can pay off. And it's just not a matter of buying a horse or breeding a horse. You've got to study pedigree when you make that choice. And of course, look at people who's got more experience, like Josie, to help you along the way and making certain decisions. So it's put a good feeling in the horses I've got now, who are bred by the same mare, and I've got some good prospects coming up. So it's helped me in my breeding program.
That's a great point. I was going to say, to win a big race is always special, but when you can do it with a homegrown athlete, it's that much more special, in my opinion. How are the nerves with you and the family? And, you know, you're getting a lot of people into racing that potentially weren't into it before.
Well, you know, the excitement is quite almost unbelievable. And my heart just goes out to everybody during this pandemic situation, because I've had calls from the East Coast to the West Coast from people I haven't talked to for years, you know, saying, hey, we drove 2 hours to a betting shop to bet $20 on Mighty Hard plate. And the excitement in their voices, it's wonderful. Yes, the Triumph and the Triple Crown will mean a great deal, but to me personally, these people's excitement, it just inspires me to move on and show people that, you know, anything's possible if you put your mind to it and your heart to it.
Will you sleep between now and Saturday?
No. Well, I'm an early turn-in, and I don't have too much time, you know, to actually close my eyes and sleeping. But I'm waking up 2 or 3 times during the night, and of course, it's on my mind. And I started at 5 o'clock in the morning, because that's normally when I get up, and it's an ongoing day with the media, and a lot of phone calls. So it's been wonderful.
You got 3 more sleeps. Sweet dreams. Enjoy it. We look forward to seeing you here at the racetrack on Saturday. Thanks for taking time to do this. Thank your co-host as well, Larry, for joining you here on the program. And best of luck.
Thank you so much.
All right. Larry Cordes, Josie Carroll. Team Mighty Heart looking for racing history coming up on Saturday. Once again, 5 till 6 on TSN, 129th edition. Let's bring back up the board one more time with the field. We got the riders as well, just in case you missed that information a little bit earlier on. We were documenting it as we traveled through the field. But there is a final look as we get set for what could be a very special Saturday. But as talked about, the fact that we're at this point, we are already winners, if you ask me. So best of luck to all the connections involved. Appreciate the time from everybody that helped make this possible here today. Until Saturday, we can't wait. Jason Portwando saying thank you as always for the company. Nice job, producer Mike Sanford, the entire team putting this all together. There's a look at the trainers as well. Go get them. A field of 12 for the Breeders' Stakes on Saturday. We know you can't be here, but we will do our best to bring you all of the coverage and keep you abreast of the situation with the Breeders' Stakes as we hope to get our 13th Canadian Triple Crown winner.